Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and today we are joined with Robins on Tour and Football Prime Ginger, also known as Ben and Oren. How are we, lads?
Good, thank you, mate. Good, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm good as well. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to get into football media. So we've got some questions and we're just going to, talk about these. And obviously Ben's got a documentary out soon. Make sure to watch that. The time this is placed, it'll be already out, so make sure to go watch that. Oren, obviously, he's done loads of interviews with some great Scottish people. Brian Rice, an example. So make sure to go subscribe to his channel as well. Links will be in the description. And yeah, guys, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what is the definition of football media. So, Oren, would you like to start off? What do you think football media is?
Yeah, so I think there's kind of different kind of sectors in football media between that's presenting, writing, the journalism kind of sides. I think there's a lot of kind of different kind of parts of football media which isn't really talked about. I feel like there's a presenting side where you kind of go down one route, then there's the journalism side you go down, which kind of comes along with the writing sides, where that's just getting sent out to games, etc. But yeah, I think there's a lot of kind of sectors of football media.
Yeah, Ben, would you like to elaborate on that? Anything else you'd say?
Yeah, well, like as he said, there's a lot of things that are under the heading of football media. I don't think there is one main definition of it. As you said, you've got the journalism with the writing reports and the live Twitter updates, as we see some reporters doing as well. And then there's the commentators as well as the behind the scenes people in football media. So there's definitely a lot of different sorts of jobs and roles you can get into in football media. I don't think there is one main definition of football media, except obviously being in and around that football media bubble sort of thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. Obviously, Oren was saying about there's more. It's not just one thing. It's loads of things: journalism, writing, articles, presenting. There's loads of bits, and it's kind of like a pick. You got a lot to choose from with football media. So let's say you're good at one thing,
definitely.
You could do that, but then at the same time, you might be good at that thing, but you could also maybe do that as well. But there's like lots of things you can do with football media. But the next question is, who was your guys' inspiration to like get into football media? Why did you want to get into it?
Well, for me, I don't really have an inspiration, but it's a bit of a weird story of how I've got to where I am at the moment. And as I've said before, I'm nowhere near football media. I'm nowhere near. I'm right at the bottom. If you can even say I'm even a foot into football media. But I obviously started YouTube in the first lockdown. Just I'm not really sure why. I just did it as a sort of hobby sort of thing, and then I started doing the interviews. I did Will Brazier, Toby Osborne, who's Bristol City commentator. Then I did some of the ex-players like Brian Tinian, and then the club got in touch with me after that, their media team, and said it was really good. We'll help you a little bit with it, and then I've obviously had a good few opportunities with that, and hopefully more to come in the future.
Yeah, Oren, what would you say?
Yeah, so for me, it's kind of like Ben. I've always kind of wanted to be a journalist, but I didn't really know what that was. I thought, yes, I always want to be in the football media, but before I started YouTube, I barely knew what that was. So when I did start it, and when I did get a few opportunities, which came kind of later for me, it came just about Christmas time. That's where I kind of thought, okay, this could be something that I really want to be into now. And ever since then, I've not looked back. But as Ben said, I'm nowhere near football media right now. It's just keep up with the interviews and see where it goes from there.
Yeah, it's just fun and sort of practice and just a bit of fun at the moment. Just like sort of finding our way around stuff during obviously lockdown and stuff at the minute where we can't do much.
Yeah, because obviously, let's say with like interviews, there's quite a lot of people, like say footballers, ex-footballers, haven't got much to do, so they're like, it's quite kind of a good opportunity at the moment to go get those interviews done with people like that. My inspiration, I've actually had a bit of an inspiration from. Now, as the Ebbsfleet media, or the guy that runs the media team at Ebbsfleet, called Ed Miller, and he's been working for about a good 12, 13 years now, I think, since 2008, I think he started. And like I've just seen his posts and on social media, obviously he's doing that, and I was just like, I want to do that. I want to, help out with helping out with a football club's social media page and that, maybe helping out with the website or something, or doing a bit of their YouTube or something like that. But I've always wanted to help out with that. I've kind of got a bit of an opportunity at the moment with Punjab United. I am currently, or for next season, going to be helping out with their YouTube channel. Which is I feel is quite a big thing. Obviously, ninth tier of English football is not. It's not Premier League, but you've got to start somewhere. You've got to start at the bottom and then build up, and hopefully, try and get as the best as you can. But next question we got is, what skills would you say you need to enter the football media industry?
Well, I think there's quite a lot, to be fair. First, I feel like you've got to work well with others. I think that's quite a big factor, because if you want to be in the media team, then there's obviously going to be other people in that media team. I think communication as well, that's a big factor. And there's a few others, you've got to be confident if you want to go into the presenting side of things, and I think there's a few more, but if Ben wants to name some others.
Yeah, I think as you said there, you've got obviously the main ones that you need in a lot of jobs, not only in football, but in pretty much every job. It's good communication, being able to be confident when you're speaking, and obviously being helpful, and all of those other things. But I think the main thing is being kind and sort of friendly with other people, because then you get to know other people, and then they know people, and then they know people, and then for what you know, then you're talking to Gary Lineker or Alan Shearer. I think so. The main thing, as well as being confident, a speaker, and obviously helpful to other people as well. And I think the main thing is obviously being able to be friendly with other people, and just help other people out as well, if you get what I mean there.
Yeah, I would say it kind of depends on what party you have, because obviously Oren was saying there's like lots of different types of parts of football media. You got your journalism, you got your writing. Sometimes you need like good English for writing, good speaking for when you're doing presenting. It really depends on what type of football media you're doing, I would say. What would you guys say on that? Would you agree?
Oh yeah, I would definitely
agree. Right, we'll get into the next question now. Why do you want to be into the football media industry?
Well, I'm not going to lie, it's the dream job, really, isn't it? You're just going around to football matches, watching football, and getting to speak about football. I'm not sure about you lads, but I get told off by my dad and my mum for talking about football all the time, and apparently that's the only thing I'm into. I speak about it too much. Everything I do has got something to do with football. So really, it's the dream job. Obviously, I don't think I'll be able to be playing for Bristol City, so I expect the next best thing is watching them and speaking about them.
Yeah, I'd agree with Ben now, obviously saying that it's the same with me, really. My parents hate it when I'm talking about football. Even the people I know around me that like football, they say I talk too much about it, which...
exactly.
Yeah. But Oren, what would you say?
Yeah, I would agree. I think playing wise, I'm absolutely awful. So the next one down from that would be football media. But no, I've always liked
one up from it.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, as Ben said, it's the dream job. I just waffle about football, really.
Day in, day out.
Yeah. And I think, it's just absolutely dream job, interviewing your inspirations, getting to go down to wherever to watch a football team. It's just fantastic, really. And yeah.
Yeah, and just before we go on to the next question, I expect Ben's got something to say about it. But I think some people think that it's you wake up on a Saturday, you go out and speak about football for 2 hours, and you go home, and then you're free for the next week. But I've seen from other people who I've interviewed, so I'll give Toby Osborne for example, that and Downsy as well, and just they're working on it every single day of every single week, just getting facts, getting to know all the players that are playing. Say you're playing Stoke away on a Saturday, or every day until Saturday you're talking about you're looking up stats from all the Stoke players, all the Bristol City players ahead of going to talk about the game on Saturday, as well as the press conferences and other things I expect we'll go on to talk a little bit about later.
Yeah. When I interviewed Ian Crocker, Ben, you was there. Yeah. He was saying that his only day off is a Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's just studying. And he said he's been at probably every ground at Scotland, but he still does research because it's just so difficult for Ian Crocker to know every single player, every single stat, where they're from, etc. And yeah, it takes a full week to just kind of study one game pretty much.
And even if it's like a boring game on a Saturday, you may not use all of those stats. You could be a 5-4 win or something, but then it could also be a 0-0 and you're using all of your stats. So I think it's just preparation, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously when you're doing that, it's fun because you like to see maybe there's a player before, oh, he played for that team, or oh, he played for this team. You kind of get to know some new things about players and that, because you never know. Maybe a Stoke player might have recently played for Celtic, or might have recently played for Bristol City. But next question we'll go into is, what are your ambitions in football media? Where would you like to be in a couple of years' time, or 5-10 years?
I'll just go first. I think for me, just to kind of get into the journalism industry, attend press conferences, whether that's for Celtic or another team in Scotland or England. I think presenting sides, I would like to be there, but it's not something I'm going to work towards. I think I'm going to be working towards the journalism side, because as you lads know, I do some writing for a Scottish football outlet. So I think it's probably the journalism side where I want to go to attend some press conferences, go to some matches, and that's pretty much it. That's probably my ambitions.
Yeah, and for myself as well, I think until I'm 18 to 20 or something, I think it's going to be still working with hopefully with Bristol City with the press conference, and maybe getting some to do some stuff on a match day as well for my YouTube channel or something like that. But I think it's just you never know, really. It's just working towards that end goal of the journalist or commentating or something like that. But at the moment, I think it's just getting the opportunities in, really.
So yeah, Ben, I would agree with you there. Obviously, working with Punjab at the moment is a great opportunity to start somewhere. I like to work them for a good couple of years and then see where it takes me. Hopefully, I think the main dream job would be to maybe do it for a Premier League club. I don't care who I do it for, even if it's for like Tottenham, maybe not Tottenham, but like Man City or Man United. I know it's going to be very hard to get there, but that would be the dream. But I think in reality, I think even doing it for being a proper one and doing it for, as a daily job would be a really good achievement for me. But we'll get into the next question now. What would you say is your biggest achievement so far with football media? Now, obviously, I know, we've all got YouTube channels, as we said before. Links will be in the description to both their channels. What would you say is your biggest achievement so far? I know, obviously, at the time we were recording this, Tomorrow will be the documentary, and by the time this comes out, it will be like a week before now where Ben's documentary has gone out. So that will be in the description as well when I can get it out there. So but what would you say is your biggest achievement so far, lads?
But yeah, thanks for that, Ben. But I don't know if I have a biggest one, because everyone was amazing. I didn't think maybe a year ago, when we were just going into the first lockdown, I in a year's time I'd be sat on a video talking about all the opportunities I've had. But there's just, I think the press conferences are probably up to that first one. That was probably the biggest one, because if I remember rightly, it was a Swansea game as well. So it was a Derby press conference, and obviously did the Cardiff one as well. So I probably one of them. But obviously the Brighton and all the interviews I've done as well are definitely up there. I don't think I could pick out one of my best ones. They're all just amazing. Hopefully, as I said earlier on, there'll be a lot more of them to come in the future, and then hopefully I'll be doing it for my job one day.
Yeah, and what would you say is your biggest achievement so far?
Well, for me, it's probably just the interviews. I think all the interviews I've done has been absolutely brilliant. Just to have the opportunity to do it, but probably the Brian Rice one probably tops it, because the stuff I've got planned with Hamilton when fans do come back is just based from that interview. And it's just amazing, because as Ben said, first lockdown, coming up to a year now.
I think it's a year. Yeah, today actually. I think it's a year on Monday when we went to the first lockdown, because I remember we all got sent home from school a year ago today, wasn't it? Crazy. You
would never, ever, ever think that I've had the opportunity to interview the Hamilton manager. I'm on 1K subs. It's just absolutely amazing. But I would say the interview with Brian Rice probably tops it.
Yeah, I'd say for myself, I think it's either between the because I've done quite a couple of interviews. I've done one at the start with the Absolute manager. Obviously, that was when he couldn't talk the best of English, and obviously it's quite hard because he was German. That one really good. And I think at the moment, I think it's like the couple of interviews I've also done as well with Jack Powell, Danny Kedwell, Harry Palmer. I've done some with, and I think the main one at the moment is just working with Punjab. Obviously, I made a documentary in that. I think I just love working with Punjab because I know the people so well, and they're always supportive as well, which is that's what you need with a media team, because you need a good bond with them, and then hopefully next couple of years the bond can break into the team, and you never know, we could see playing Punjab in the next, League Two or something in the next couple of 20 years or something. Nah, it's mostly not going to happen, but you never know. But we're going to get into the last question now, guys. What would you say is the best piece of advice to people that want to get into the football media industry? I'll let Oren start that off.
Well, I think there's probably a few bits, to be fair. The first bit is, because somebody else wants to get into football media, that doesn't mean you need to get into football media. It's just so tough, because I've saw so many people kind of want to get into football media when do they really? Is their heart in it? Probably not. But my second piece of advice would be, get your name out there, practice, and just get experience, because that's the main thing at the end of the day. Because if you're experienced, then that's going to get you the best opportunities.
Yeah, Ben, what would you say is the best piece of advice?
I don't think I should give some advice, because I don't really, obviously I've only been doing this for a good few months now, and I don't really have a lot of advice. But something I will say is, I've interviewed a good few people, and I always ask at the end of my videos, of my interviews, what is your best piece of advice to get into football media, become a football player, or whatever their job is. And that every single one of them's given me some great advice that I have gone through into all of my other videos, and all of what I'm doing at the moment as well. And one of that was from was what I said earlier. Get yourself out there, put your name out to people, ask for stuff. If you don't ask, you don't get. I think that's probably if that's probably the thing I've been going by for the last few months, is that saying of if you don't ask, you don't get, as well as obviously being friendly to other people as well, as I said earlier, and then get your name out there. And that's probably my advice.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Warren. Obviously saying if someone else is doing it, you don't have to do it. Everyone has their dream job, but just because someone else is doing it, you don't have to do it. Obviously Ben was saying there about a good piece of advice, make sure you know the people if you're going to be working with well, I'd say, because let's just say you don't really know them, then you're like, oh, it will take a good couple of weeks and months to get them know them really well and then build a good bond. But obviously I knew a couple of lads quite well, I did, and I've been working for a good month now, might have been or something, I'm not too sure. But yes guys, thank you for coming on, Oren and Ben. Their links will be in the description to their channels, and yes guys, we'll see you in the next one.